Hi everyone. This is a summary of the proof of concept that we have done at Frontity with the new store API of WooCommerce. So the WooCommerce team is working on a store API for their WooCommerce Gutenberg blocks plugin. And yeah, it's a new client-side API, so this is different from the one they have, which requires authentication, so it's not suited to be used in the client. And what we did is an experiment of a possible Frontity WooCommerce package using that store API. This is only an experiment, and actually this store API is for internal use only. It's on the WC store endpoint, but as you can see, it has no version here because they are not committed to releasing versions right now, so they can introduce breaking changes. So for that reason, please take this only as experiment, which is not meant to be used in production. The repository for the proof of concept is here. Proof of concept, it has explanations about what it does, what it doesn't do, how to run the demo, how to set up WordPress, and so on, and all the code that you can clone and check. We also set up a site called woocommerce.frontity.org. Okay, this is a site where that you can use with your project here. So if you run the WooCommerce proof of project proof of concept project in localhost, you can use this site. You don't have to set up WordPress. So in your Frontity settings, you can just leave it like this, and it should work because we've prepared this for to be used also in the coupled mode. I'm going to explain the things we had to do for the coupled mode. So first of all, these are the plugins that are running in this site: WooCommerce blocks, because this is the plugin that has the store API. And we are also running the embedded mode plugin because we are using, if you visit this site, it's using the embedded mode. So this is React, this is Frontity. But it's also working, actually, if you go to localhost, it's also working in the couple mode. So you have the different URL, you can still use this site. Okay, to use that site, the store API is using cookies. So in order to use cookies with an external domain, we had to add secure and same site known to the cookies here. This is not working because I'm using incognito. So if you're using incognito, you have to come here and allow the cookies of woocommerce.frontity.org, and then reload, and then it should be fine. So yeah, as you can see here, we're using for the cookies secure and same site known. This is the important part. Secure is required for same site known, but this is an important part. And for that, we had to, we added snippet here, and we had to add a couple of filters. These filters are not present in the WooCommerce set cookie function yet. We're going to do a pull request asking if they can add these two, so you can set secure to true and same site to none. We're also disabling the nonce for now, so this is something that you can do now, and we haven't make this package work with the nonce requirements of the store API. So for the moment, we are just disabling that for the proof of concept. Other than that, yeah, we are hard coding the course to localhost because we are aggressively caching this, and we want to make sure that it works for localhost 300. So if you use another port like 301 or 8080 or something like that, you can have course problems. So stick to localhost 300. And the thing is that we've done another test with this site, which is to use simple cache to aggressively cache everything, because that's one of the difference that you can do with the couple but it's easy to do with decouple. It's not that you cannot do this with WordPress, but it's easy. It's easy to do with decouple. So we are caching everything, including the REST API. This is not the regular simple cache plugin. It's a fork I did that adds supports for the REST API and the headers. I hope Taylor will check it out soon, and maybe we'll merge this. The thing here is that, yeah, we are caching everything very aggressively for a year, except the cart and the checkout endpoints here. The rest, as you can see here in WP Content Cache Simple Cache, we are caching the HTML. So for example, this is the shop, and yeah, these are the HTML for the products and so on. So we are creating static HTML files, and also for the REST API. So this is the response for a product, a JSON response for the product, and so on. And as you can see here in the cache of the cart, what we are doing is the server-side rendering is sending a loader, because the cart information, we're getting the cart information in the client. We're not doing that in server-side rendering. So again, this can be aggressively cached, and the only thing that needs to that the WordPress server needs to handle, so all the load of the WordPress server is going to be in these two endpoints. And yeah, that's it. Apart from that, yeah, nothing else. We add the products here, some example products, and the orders are working, so the orders are shown here, and there is a coupon, there's a code coupon with a 10% discount, and other than that, it's working. So let's review now the code. So let's have I close this. Okay, yeah, then I think I have to do the cookies again. Yeah, I have to do the cookies again. Cookies, allow. Okay, so you can add products to the cart here, and they appear in the cart. You can add them in batches. You can edit them here, like 3. You can delete them here, and so on. You can go to the checkout. Information should be also stored here. We are updating the cart here with information from the customer and so on, and that's retrieved again on the client-side rendering. So what we are doing here is that we are sending from the server this empty cart page, but then after the hydration, on the special after client-side rendering action of Frontity, we are requesting the information to the cart. So we come here, and yeah, we load the cart, and we are asking, hey, give me the information for these cookies and so on, and it's retrieving all the items that that cart has. So that's working fine. Let's see the code. So it's a normal Frontity project here with the Frontity settings. In the Frontity settings, we have this WooCommerce theme and WooCommerce proof of concept package, which are local. The rest are from npm. The rest are the official Frontity packages. The WooCommerce theme, it's a Mars theme with an additional pages for WooCommerce. We'll see that in a moment. But let's see first the WooCommerce proof of concept plugin. So it has types here, and in the code, so we have state, actions, and libraries. The state that is exposing right now in the WooCommerce namespace is a Boolean here to know that the cart is ready. So just to make it easier in the interface to show the cart once it has been synchronized with the WooCommerce endpoint. Then we have the cart here that right now is pretty much the same information that the cart is getting from the Store API. So we're not doing anything fancy yet. We're just kind of copying this information from the endpoint here in the state. We should improve that in the future, but for now it's enough. And also for the parts of the checkout. The checkout, I think, also sends the shipping address and billing address, but we're not duplicating those. We're just storing those in the cart only. Then we have a map of orders, stored by ID. So when you proceed to the checkout and place an order, they are stored in the state as well. And finally, in the source namespace, we are storing product. So when you visit here products, a page or an archive and so on, they are stored in the same way that the WordPress source stores archives for the posts and the posts themselves and so on. So yeah, and in that regard, so here in libraries we are adding some handlers for the source, to add handlers for the WooCommerce URLs. So here in libraries we are adding these handlers, which are these ones, for the cart and the checkout, and I think the order. It doesn't have any fetch. It's simply saying, okay, this URL is the cart, so you can do the routing in your theme. The same for the checkout, and for the order is storing the ID. So you can have different URLs for the different IDs of the order, but basically is the same. For the shop, it's querying the WC store products, so the store API. And then normal handler stuff in Frontity, it's getting that response, and it's adding that response to the state and getting the total number of items, pages, if it has a next or previous page here, and so on. Normal stuff. For the product, we only have the Slack here. So if we do server-side rendering here for this page, we only have the Slack. So right now the Store API doesn't support filtering by Slack. So we have to query the REST API first to get the ID, and then with the ID query the WC store. This should be fixed. We maybe can send a PR to the Store API so they can add the Slack in the same way that the standard REST API can be queried using the Slack. But other than that, it's just querying, like fetching the product and storing that in the state and saying it's a product and so on. So it can be easily accessed in the theme. And that's it. Those are the handlers. And then finally we have the actions. For the actions we have the get card, which simply retrieves the card. Everything is pretty simple, pretty coupled with the Store API. In the future we should improve these methods, which now are almost only queries to the REST API, to make their because the goal is to make them as simple as possible to use in the theme, and also to add automatic optimistic updates. That's something that, for example, we are doing here. So this action is actually used here in the card. So if I update this, we are updating the state first. So the UI is going to be updated, but we are not updating the totals. We are only updating this one here. So the totals is going to be updated after we receive the information we send, and then receive the information to the Store API and store that in the card. So if I say 20 here, the change is instant here, but then it's going to take a while. If I simulate this with a slow, so for example, we go for 1, this is updated, but this takes a while. That's something that we should do. In the future, like, everything should work with optimistic updates, and then revert. If this fails, revert the change. There are some actions that, for the checkout and so on, the apply and remove coupons that right now they're not used in the theme, if I'm not mistaken. But you can use those here. So I said there is a coupon with the code. So Give me one sec. Okay, so you can access Frontity store here in the console with Frontity, and then Frontity actions, WooCommerce, and apply coupon, and then code, and this should apply 10% here, so kind of 60-20, okay, and also remove coupon and so on, remove coupon and so on. So those are the actions there. Oh, there's a special action that I mentioned before. So after client-side rendering, after the hydration on the client side, we're getting the card, and we're calling the get card action here, which is updating the card in the state, and then setting the is card ready to true. So that's the one doing the request here. So that was client-side rendering, and then once the card is updated, it is shown here. Okay, that's the proof of concept package. Very simple for now, but let's see the theme. So the theme is a fork of Mars. The index is the same, nothing new here, and actually the theme of the React object exposed by the theme, it's also the same that the normal Mars theme, except that now it has components for the different types of data. So if it's the shop, the products, cart, checkout, and order. So let's take a look at those. First, the shop. It gets the data from the state and then iterates over all the items. So we're here, iterates over all the items, and that's it. We have to do a trick here because we need to get the path name from the link, because Frontity only recognizes link and fixes the link, not the permalink. So these permalinks contain. This also should be super easily fixable with a store API or even in the package. And yeah, the rest is fine. We are adding this. Most of these components are just CSS components, style components. The one that is actually a real component is add to cart. So let's take a look at add to cart, which is this button here. It's also used here in the product page. I can show the quantity, which is this part here. Well, it has a couple of internal states. Nothing fancy here. The most interesting part is that on the click on the button, it's using the add to cart, which is setting an internal flag to true, so we can disable the button and change the text to adding to cart, and that's it. But mainly it's using the add item to cart from the WooCommerce package, and that's mostly it. It's getting the quantity of the item, this information here from the cart, and that's it. The rest is really straightforward. So let's go back to the shop. And that's it. I guess that's it. Let's go. Index product. I think product is super simple as well. We get the product from the state source product. We're getting it by ID, and then we're just adding the different things like price, name, description, and so on, and another add to cart button, which is this one here, and that's it. The rest is this other one doesn't have any other component. The rest of them are style components. So next one is cart. So if the cart is ready, is cart ready boolean is not true, it shows the loading. If there's no product, it shows a go to shop component here, and then it iterates over all the items. So if we have many items here, for example, right, it iterates over all the items. It has a remove here, which calls the actions WooCommerce remove item from cart. And then it has it has a component actually, which is this one, which is the style item quantity, yeah, which is using the update item from cart action. So if we say here 10, it will send this information to the cart, to the backend, and that's it. The rest, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, the rest are style components. So very simple and straightforward as well. The checkout, okay, the checkout, which is here. Again, we're getting information from the cart, from the state. We're also doing the loader if the cart is not ready, so we can cache that and serve the same HTML to all the users. It has a form. On submission, we use the place order action from WooCommerce, and yeah, it has this billing field component, which has an action, a debounced action. To update the customer. So if you're writing here, like phone number, for example, it's going to send that only after 1 second that you've been editing. So yeah, I'm updating that. Once it's updated, it's there, it's in the cart, and with the cookies, the user should get it. And yeah, and that's it. Where we're using this action, which is this one, which is the bounced action, and that's it. So the checkout here, and oh, we have another action for the customer note. I don't know why that one is different, but maybe because that doesn't belong to the billing address. Yeah, pretty much that. So we can send a fake order. We have some items in the cart. Okay, so fake name, fake address, so fake city, everything fake, and some notes here, and then we place the order, and the order has been received. We can go here, check our orders. The order is here, fake name, fake ID, blah blah blah. So yeah, everything is here, the customer knows the products and so on. Right now, we have not shown this. Right now, the order component, which is the last one that we can check out here, it's only doing a JSON stringify of the order, so we didn't go further, like prettifying this one, but the information is there. Yeah, and I think that's it. Oh yeah, for now, the checkout is so here in the proof of concept, there's only one payment method. It's hard-coded. So if we go here to the state checkout, so it's only cheque. So it's hard-coded to cheque here. For I guess at some point it would say that the payment method was cheque. Yeah, there you go. So that's hard-coded for now, but I think that's it. That's mostly it. There is a thread in our community here where you can follow the progress here, and there are a lot. We have some lists of things that we want to keep experimenting with. Things about our meetings, things about like how the problems we had with the cookies and the same site configurations and so on. So we will keep this posted. The changes that would be nice to do to the Store API, like adding the Slack or the permalink, more work that we will have to do in the package, like organize everything for optimistic UIs, handling errors, supporting variable products, well, making it work with a lot of things, like support for taxonomies, making it work with nonsense and so on. Support themes. So right now, with this WooCommerce theme, we have a special pages for the shop, the product, and so on. But we also should add support for the themes that don't have those. So only by installing the WooCommerce proof of concept, if your theme is not taking care of, if it's not a WooCommerce compatible theme, you could also view the cart, the checkout with the full components, the shops and the product, similar to what WooCommerce does with PHP themes. We also want to explore how to support the WooCommerce blog that the WooCommerce team is working on and provide ready-to-use components and so on. So first try with this. It's super interesting. We've learned a lot. It's here to try. You can try it out at woocommerce.frontity.org. You can play with it, clone it in your own computer, play with it, and so on. And feel free to give us as much feedback as you can if you try it out. Here in the WooCommerce proof of concept thread in our community. Yeah, I hope you like it. One last thing that I don't know if I made clear in the video is that yeah, this proof of concept is to create a Frontity WooCommerce package. Right now, that package is called WooCommerce proof of concept here. Okay, but in the future, people would not have to have this code in their projects. This code, the code that is right now in WooCommerce proof of concept and in the future will be in a Frontity WooCommerce package, that thing would be installed directly from npm and added to the Frontity settings, like people is adding today, like WP source, tiny router, and so on. So the only code that people would have to actually create in their projects or in their themes is this one here with the different components for the WooCommerce if they want to create a WooCommerce theme for Frontity. And actually the goal of this package, of the Frontity Commerce package, is that, yeah, creating those themes is as easy as possible and as flexible as possible. So people can create really good experience, well, not this one, can create really great experiences using React and without having to to take care of all the integration with the WooCommerce, REST API, and so on. So making this, the creation of this theme, like as easy as possible.